I put Joan as mine.
Joan?
Yeah, cause she's pretty good, she pretty's with it. She does take time to comprehend or to remember things. So I would think that she's pretty good.
So we'll come back to that, because what is a sapphire?
Oh, because
What
that
is-
is all cylinders firing, right?
Yes,
I got the wrong
sapphire is your
person.
true blue, that's your no dementia.
Yeah.
So who do you know that's a sapphire?
Alan, I think Alan.
You are.
No. We're not a resident though.
Yeah, I did technically say residents. But we should be. I mean, we absolutely should be sapphire, right? We are fully functioning, fully capable brains. We're true blue.
I don't know, I think mine's burning out.
It might be burning out. And we forgetful is one of the options here. But you remember when you're cute and things like that. You know, it's
Sometimes.
just normal. Why do you think Alan?
Because he is in the present and he knows, you know, like his situation, place, time, person, where he's at and stuff. But when like mealtime comes and he gets a bad meal, then he gets upset over that.
Okay, so Alan's really with it. Right? Alan's not here because he has dementia.
Right.
He's here for completely other reasons. So Alan would be a good example of somebody who is normal, functioning brain.
Probably most of our rehab people too, right?
A lot of your rehab people are, yep. Yep, they're gonna come in.
Just
every
for
day.
rehab.
Yep, and they're gonna go back home. What about a diamond? Who do you know that's a diamond? So you gotta remember, we're looking for, they're still sharp and clear. Their old habits and routines are very important to them. Authority very much matters, like who are you to tell me what to do?
I gotta go one for that one.
Territorial. Remembering new is not something that they can do. They'll ask over and over, tell a lot of the same stories. Who do you have, Jen?
Sarge. He likes to tell stories over and over.
He does.
He's sharp.
He's getting worse though.
I don't think he's really sharp and clear.
Anymore.
Anymore.
He used
See,
to
I
be.
haven't been
That's
on the
okay,
floor
that's why-
for a while, but
This whole point of this exercise is not to be like, you're wrong. It's to talk through this, to be able to identify what we're looking at for. So at one point he may have been.
right.
I would agree. He's not now. So who else do you know that's a diamond?
What about Lois?
Lois.
Lois. Why?
Well, because she always asks every day, she, you know, asks who's her caregiver gonna be at the next shift and stuff. She wants to know, but she's still, she has her routines and habits that she does, like routinely every night. I'm getting my pills at this time, you know,
Does she forget things?
sometimes.
Okay, so maybe she's sapphire diamond. Because I think a lot of times she is a sapphire
Yeah.
because I think that's just a personality, right? So sometimes what we're looking at is, even with Sarge, that storytelling, I think that's more of a personality than it is related to cognition. With her, I think routine is a little more personality than cognition, but yes, if you're seeing some forgetfulness, she might teeter. Absolutely. So are you always and forever one gem?
No.
No. Can one person be 2 gems in a 5-minute period?
Yep.
Yes. Yes. So we, depending upon the time of day, depending upon the situation, our stress level, our health, our medications, all that good stuff, we can kind of teeter back and forth. So you might say, I think this, and you might say, yeah, but I think this because of this, and that's okay. We are not going to see a lot of diamonds here. We shouldn't see a lot of diamonds here. We might in rehab, we might in long-term care if somebody's here for a totally different reason than their cognition. You know, they're very alert and oriented, or maybe just kind of starting to show some signs, but they're here because of COPD, because of cancer, because of something else. We're not going to see a whole lot of diamonds here because most people don't even know they have dementia when they're a diamond. This is when they're just starting to forget things, they're just starting to not be able to learn new things. What's that first thing they're going to lose? What are they not going to be able to say anymore as well? We're going to notice that now. Nouns. We're going to notice that their kids' names are just not, even looking at them, they're just not able to remember that. Or that store, grocery store they've been going to for 30 years, they cannot tell you the name of it. Maybe can describe it, but not that name. Writing. A lot of times we see people or writing starts to become difficult. Visual changes are already starting in somebody who's a diamond. So a diamond is often living at home unaware of what's going on. When we get into the positive phase level approach and hand under hand, we'll really talk about those vision changes, and I think it's a really huge thing to know.
What do you think about Dorothy Crennan?
Tell me why.
Because she likes her space, she kinda can get into the, authoritarian mode, and she sometimes will forget things, but not always.
Mixes up stories too, maybe a little bit. Pretty stuck in,
Her routine, she gets angry if, she does, if she puts her call light on and you're not there within like 2 minutes, then she gets angry.
So I
This
think-
morning she was upset that her deodorant was in the wrong color, but
so again, we're looking at, is that a personality thing, or is that, because what are you gonna start doing? If you're noticing that you're forgetting words, you're forgetting something, what are you gonna start doing to make up for that?
The visual,
You're gonna create an environment that makes it easy for you to remember things, right?
yeah,
So you're gonna have more notes written down, you might have, routine might be even more specific because it masks your forgetfulness. We see that a lot with spouses, right? They come in and the one spouse, they just keep talking for them.
Mm.
They're just they're covering up that situation, it's a defense mechanism. So I think that's part of why that routine, so yes, if we're looking at routine really being effective for her, because she's using that to remember, that could definitely be part of it. Authority and money are huge at this stage. So this is maybe somebody who comes over from the manor who you're talking to and you're like, who are you, you dumb shit? That, you're gonna start to experience that where they're kind of, I'm not talking, but if you were already authority to them, you're gonna continue to be. So we've had residents in the past who, the minute Daryl walked into the room, they were totally different people. Ever have a resident you've had to call 911 on? Paramedics get here and they are totally different. It's responding to that authority much different than they're responding to us. What about an emerald? What did I tell you about words with emeralds earlier this morning? How many words is an emerald keeping out of 4? Keeping. 3.
losing one.
Losing 1. So 3 out of 4 already in an emerald state. So remember what we just talked about with diamonds? They might be at the manor, they're probably home. They're probably starting to struggle a lot with their finances and understanding that, wanting to pay for things maybe that they don't need to pay for. So already in the next state, we're looking at 1 out of 4 words being gone. Who do you think's an emerald?
I originally thought Marlia, but I don't think she fits that anymore.
I think she is, it's more of a developmental concern than it is.
Yeah,
A
it's more
dementia.
personal than dementia.
What do you have that's an emerald? So these are people that are on the go a little more. They need supervision, but they don't understand why they need supervision. It's clear to them that they're just fine. So they're flawed, but they don't know that they're flawed. Might forget a few steps along the way. They're on the go. Gets lost in time and space. Starting to repeat things a little bit more.
I was thinking Betty, but now I'm not.
Which Betty?
Betty, the one lady.
Oh,
said
no.
that.
Oh, Betty
Roddenberry.
Roddenberry.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, cause she's always calling, she's always staying busy, but then like after supper, you'll ask her, did you eat supper? She can't remember if she ate supper.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep reminding her why, you have to do her dressings and changing and stuff, and she says she's healed when she's not.
Mm-hmm.
So, would that be it?
She certainly could be, yeah. She needs help with things that she doesn't think she needs help with. She doesn't remember that she needs help with it. Yet she likes to be busy and constantly doing things. things.
Mhm.
Who else? This is when people start to really notice something's not right. And this is when the family members are starting to question, where do you normally work, Jackie?
Rehab.
Okay. Who else could be an emerald? We have them in the building.
I have Helen.
Helen,
Helen, Baldwin.
Odin, tell me why.
I've talked with her many, many times. She's talked about things she used to do in the past, things that she likes to do.
I think so.
It just seems like she is an emerald, it seems to me.
Does she accept help? Does she appreciate help? Or does she think she doesn't need help?
I think she appreciates it when I help her.
She's both.
Okay.
Like at night, she kind of tries to get ready by herself, but in the morning, she lets you do everything. So it's kind of-
Does she not want your help at night? Is that one of those?
I think she just doesn't, I don't know, like she's on her own schedule. Like, I want to go to bed now. I'm not waiting for somebody to help me. And kind of
That makes sense.
does it on her own.
So your emeralds are going to be your people who need help, but don't think they need help.
James,
So it's those.
I mean, for that part,
Yeah,
he needs help, but he
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
want to
he's-
accept the help.
yeah, and he's an acute. I mean, it's chronic.
Yeah,
but
it's, yeah,
I think it's
he's
an
not,
age thing,
yeah. I think there's more going on
keeping
with him.
his dignity, trying to keep
That's
that
tough.
intact.
That's super tough. So two that I can think of off the top of my head. So you'll have to tell me what you guys think. What about Buzz?
That's what I had down.
Well, then talk.
I was just thinking about
Buzz
that.
isn't. It's not so much the on the go constantly,
No.
but just that.
Repetition of
Yep.
doing what he wants to do.
Yep. He's got that repetition, and he.
Where he counts his wallet every day, or
Yep.
that is when we don't wash it.
Yep. But he doesn't. He'll wear the same clothes every day if
Yep.
you don't take them out because he doesn't know they're dirty.
Right.
He has no clue that he needs help with stuff.
Yep.
Kind of reminds you of George.
Yeah.
Until 2 a.m., he kept coming up to the desk looking for his girlfriend.
Oh.
I guess they broke up like a long time ago and he lived with her and he kept coming and looking for, where's the other woman that belongs in this room?
So looking for his girlfriend, coming back multiple times. Where is she? Where is she?
Mhm.
That's very much an on the go. I believe he's moved past it a little bit, but George Carlson was in the Emerald stage for quite some time.
Yep.
Looking for his car,
Mhm.
wanting to leave, needing to know where the door was.
Yep.
That constant go sleep
Roger's
cycle.
another one.
Who?
Roger.
Roger? Tell me why Roger.
He does the same thing. Looks for his vehicle. Looks for his wife.
His wallet.
Wants a cigarette.
His wallet.
He doesn't even smoke.
Yeah. Wants to know where his car is parked.
Yet I'm guessing that if you went to help him, he wouldn't understand why you were helping him.
Sometimes, yeah.
Clarence Beck.
I
Oh,
have
God.
him for the next one. So do I. Amber.
We'll talk a little bit about that, but Clarence, why does anyone think I would put him in the, how does he match?
He does not want your help.
He absolutely
He wants
does
to
not want
do
help.
everything himself, but he needs stuff. Like, he soils his clothes, but he doesn't want you to change them.
Because I don't think he knows he needs help.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think he thinks he's dry and everything's
Mhm.
fine, so why are you?
He
bothering?
does.
Right?
He'll argue with you. You can clearly see the whole front of him is wet.
Yeah.
Clarence, you need to go change your pants. Nope, they're fine.
Very much.
It's
so.
like- No, they're not.
And
We're
he
gonna
has
take a bath.
been,
I just took one.
he has been on the go a lot more lately. I don't know if anyone's noticed that,
Mm-hmm.
but he's out and about and going and doing.
And not just staying in D. He is like going everywhere.
Yep, very new for him. Well, very newish for him to be doing all that. Any other emeralds that you think? Since you had some of them, I didn't say it. Who do you guys have written down?
For what, for
Well,
Emerald?
she had Helen, I have Jerry Matt.
I had Helen for, Emerald, but that's who I had. That's who I chose.
And you have Jerry? Why do you have Jerry?
I don't really
She's,
I don't really know about that one. She's convinced she's 100 years old.
yes.
She's not.
Is that the one that calls rehab and all the time?
No, that's Marion Bergstrom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But like her sister will come visit, and then once her sister leaves, oh, you guys lost my sister. I take care of my sister. I brought her here, and all this stuff.
So where do you
My
think Marion
keys-
falls?
My keys are lost.
Oh, Marion, she's kind of a tough cookie of where to fall.
She's off the stage.
I would say Emerald, but then she's kind of in the moment of the Amber,
She's like a teeter totter.
yeah, she's just kind of getting worse, I think.
I think a lot of the time she's an emerald with dips of
Amber and
that amber, but I think she's pretty,
yeah, and then she doesn't want help,
No.
oh, I don't need those medicine,
Yeah.
that medicine, and she refuses, no matter how many try.
Don't touch me. Get off of
Uh-huh.
me. I'm just trying to help. I don't want your
She
help.
tries to get up, to
Get
go to the
out.
restroom by herself. When I was on night shift, she'll come wheeling out looking for somebody. And
Or she has like a million notes in her room. Marion,
Yep.
ring for help before getting up. And all of a sudden you'll just hear, help, help.
or you'll hear
No,
the toilet
ring.
flush.
Yeah, you
Because I
have to
don't-
ring.
she probably doesn't recognize that.
Well, and she doesn't remember. I mean, you can tell her 8 times in the day and she still
She just
doesn't
doesn't,
realize
Yep.
that you have to push the button and you get help.
But she knows how to take her hearing aids out and roll them in paper towel or tissue. And
Yeah.
hide them under her pillow.
Which
And
is
she's
probably,
convinced.
she probably did that most of her life.
She's convinced she still has her teeth. She hasn't had them for years. She got me convinced. I searched for her teeth for 15 minutes. Somebody said she doesn't have her teeth anymore. Thanks, guys.
Very good example. So what about an amber? Now remember, your ambers are the people who drive you nuts. Your ambers
Oh, I'm just kidding.
are everything in an amber is about sensation. They are shoppers. They are the people who grab your necklaces. They're the people fiddling with their shoes. They're the people stealing your purse. They're the people going through your purse once they have it. They're the people tipping things upside down. Your ambers, so yes, they're caught in the moment. And yes, that's an important trait about them. But by caught in the moment, they're caught in the moment by sensation. What do I want? And how do I want it? You, as a person, don't exist in an amber's world. It's all about what their sensation is, what their feeling is. They're busy, busy, busy people.
Joyce Anderson and C10.
Yeah.
She is an amber. And why?
Oh, she likes
silverware.
silverware. She was taking the break sign out book. She had it on her lap this morning in her wheelchair.
Oh, you can't take her
She's always on the go. Somebody's always bringing her back from some other unit.
And how's her language?
No.
It seems to be improving a little bit, but it's.
She
I mean,
usually
you
doesn't
can't
say
hear.
much to me. I never get much verbal.
So you're
And she
gonna,
gets ticked if you take her silver.
yeah,
Or anything else that she hoards on her lap.
Because that's
dirty
hers.
and
Uh-huh,
disgusting.
that's what
That's
she
hers.
thinks.
That belongs to her. You're taking her things. It doesn't, do you think saying, Joyce, that's not yours, that belongs to Luther Home is helpful?
No.
No.
Because she's in her lap and she thinks.
It's hers.
It's
It's
fine.
her possession. She's got it. It's mine. Perfect example. Yes. We're gonna start to see language being a pretty big issue here. So who else do we have that's an amber?
Marianne,
Clemens.
Pia.
Yeah, tell me more about her.
Well, she's always hoarding stuff, putting it back behind her. She won't let anybody take it. She gets mad when we do take something, or, doesn't want help with cares at all. Hard time getting her to do anything.
And I think there's some other stuff that's going on with her too. But she could, I don't think the hoarding is a new behavior. I think that's a lifelong behavior for her. The bathtub, there was actually a very traumatic experience for her as a child.
Makes sense.
So
Totally.
those things may be slightly, but she could fit in there.
Like she has 4 shirts on, and you say, "Hey, Marion, can you take Marianne, can you take a shirt off?" And she's like, "I only have one on." But like you can see the layers.
So who else is an Amber?
Clarence. I still think Clarence is an Amber.
And why do you think Clarence?
I talked to him, I know about his background, I know where he lived, and the things that are on here where you have to back off and you have to reapproach him when it comes to me being in his room. He's constantly fiddling with those little tools that he has in his drawer, the sharp tools and so forth. And he likes being alone, but at the same time, when you see him out in the hallway, I think he gets lonesome. I know his kids don't come to see him very often. I know where the kids live. And he can be very, very, I think some think that he does not know or is not aware of what he says and what he demands. But I think he does. Because there's times when I'll reapproach him with a different question as to what I want to do in his room, and he'll be fine with it. Other times, no living way.
And that's part of what makes me kind of think not as much an Amber. Still could be some of the things that you're saying, but at the same time, if he's got that cognitive capacity to still kind of make those, I think your Ambers, you're seeing a big change between an Emerald and an Amber. You're going to see a big change, and again, that language change. That language is going to start to that more mumbled, muttered, speech is going to come out at that Amber stage. So he could be. Maybe he's kind of teetering in between the two of them. Who else do you guys have?
What about Jean Spangenberg?
Jean is a perfect example. Tell me why.
Because everything that's listed on here, Cole.
Right?
Well, she is always on the go, always moving. She's fidgeting, and she'll sometimes remember who Ralph is. Sometimes she'll say, "Oh, that's my pain in the ass," or she's just. And sometimes she'll let you do cares. Sometimes she won't let you do cares. Sometimes you gotta shut the door and get out, or sometimes you're in there, she get angry at you, and you gotta get out.
Because she's stuck in that moment. Whatever is happening in that moment that you're not aware of and you're walking into determines whether or not those things are going to be able to be done with her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still got some verbal. She's not totally lost of her verbal.
She does, but how much sense does it make?
Yeah, that's.
She'll say things.
Yeah.
You could say, "How are you doing?" She's very good at what we call social chit chat.
Mm-hmm.
She was a well-educated person. I think social chit chat she's done her whole life.
Yeah.
So you can say, "How are you?" And she'll say, "Well, isn't that the darndest thing?" Yes, the sentence itself was a sentence, but the whole, it didn't really make sense.
Comprehend, but
Right.
it didn't. Okay.
What about rubies? These are your big movements, okay? This is when we're losing this fine motor skill. It's gone, right? We might be able to grab things like this, but we're not going to be able to grab things with our fingers. All that touchy-feely that we do with the Ambers, that's gone. It's your bigger movements. Barb, tell me why.
She can't do that, but she can grab her walker, though she won't, but she can. And she's just more aggressive. She either sleeps all day or she's on the move all day. There's no in between.
Sleep cycles are usually starting to get pretty messed up about this.
Yeah, and she's totally, she can go 36 hours with no sleep, but then she'll sleep for, 18 hours. So very swingy on that.
And she was an Amber a few weeks ago.
She's very fastly.
She's changed. Yep, so this is another pretty big change that we're seeing in people. We're seeing them from being real touchy and fidgety to that touchy and fidgety not really being possible. when they're eating, it might be more grabbing than it is the way we would grab things. Who else is a Ruby?
Edna.
Edna? Tell me why.
Well, she's always trying to walk or sleep. I kind of had her in between an Amber and a Ruby, cause she's still like, if she's angry, you'll see her. She will rip apart her tissue box, so she can rip that apart. But at the same time, she can't grasp her silverware as well as she should be.
And how's her language?
You can't always understand her. It's like she will ask where the pennies are, or like just things that don't make sense at all.
Okay. You got your fall risks in here. Everybody's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fall risk. I mean, but
Yeah,
but that's pretty.
and she has that combative, lovely.
Because at this point, what do they maintain their skill or their strength? Strength. So if they've got their strength and not their skill, they've got their, do they have curiosity or safety awareness?
Curiosity.
Curiosity, so that's still there. Your rubies are still real curious, they're really interested in the world around them, but their safety awareness, not so much, which is why they're such a high fall risk. Anybody else who's a ruby? Tell me why.
Cause she's always seems to be on the go, wanting to call her father, and she has no awareness of, I'm gonna walk away and not take anything with me, or.
So she's really lost that safety. How's her language?
She yells at us on Fran, apparently. Fran, come here. Come on, North, I'm coming.
Aw. Does she, yeah? Yeah, I could see, I could,
And
I can
some
see
days you can talk to her normal, other days you can't reason with her.
yeah, I could see that with Mama. What about your pearls? Were you gonna say another ruby?
Yeah.
Oh, who's your other ruby?
What do you think of, Katie Engeldinger?
Yeah, I think she's, right before the tipping point.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me why.
Because she's always, she doesn't really walk, but she wheels herself all the way around, but then she'll also, kind of like Barb, then she'll sleep a lot. And then, you know, she has some fine motor skills, but they're starting to decline more, I think. And, she's a very big fall risk, because she'll try to transfer herself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why,
And she won't unfold her legs.
yeah,
She probably doesn't know how.
Oh, that has to be so painful.
yeah.
Yep, I could definitely see that for her. She was an Amber not that long ago too.
Yeah.
Probably the last time I did this training, I was like, she's an Amber.
Yeah.
What about pearls?
I have George. Colby,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
And worse and worse each day.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of pearls actually right now.
No, do we?
Carol. For
Janet?
sure.
I got Jermaine Howarth.
She might be a little more alert than your pearl. So a lot of times with your pearls, you're seeing them more kind of curled up, eyes closed. Very few moments of alertness.
Right.
Everything, you're ruled by reflexes at this point. Everything you're doing is a reflex and not an intentional movement. So we said Carol, we said George. Warren. He amazes me all the time though, because he can remember things that I would not expect him to remember, but yes, I would agree. Pauline, for sure.
What about Eddie?
He's getting pretty close.
He's right on that tipping point.
Yeah. Yep, and I remember when he was in Amber, I don't know if anybody worked here during that time, but he used to drive the staff nuts.
Really?
Yes.
That was before my time.
Constantly up and down, constantly walking all over the place.
I remember when
Yes.
him in rehab.
Yeah, that was one of those, like, I just sit down and actually have staff meetings to go over how we're gonna fix this, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we're at that ruby pearl point with him.
Mhm.
Who else?
Clyde?
Clyde for sure. Yep. Very few moments of, oh, you're in there.
George Kobe,
Yeah, that's.
They
Oh.
said George.
sorry.
Who else?
Harold's kinda getting there. I mean, he's only been here for a little bit, but
Harold Bertrand?
he just, I mean,
Oh,
he's not,
Damas?
he's sick right now though too,
Oh,
so
is
I
he?
guess.
Oh, yeah, cause he's
Mm,
got
Yes.
aspirin.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
stuff, but
I
mean,
would think so.
He's not moving in his bed, doesn't wanna wake up to
You
eat,
could ask her.
just wants to sleep.
That could be the illness.
And isn't talking a lot either.
That might be the illness a little bit more. What were you thinking, Courtney?
Virginia?
Damas.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
yes,
getting there.
yes.
It wasn't that long ago that she was a member either.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's declined so
Yeah.
fast, it's crazy.
Like, cause she's different, you know, it's not,
Hers is the opposite. Her body is done, but her mind is there.
right.
So she's tricky, but her mind is all there. So she's not gonna fall in there as far as dementia. What about Midgie?
I don't know if she's a pearl, really, I mean,
Think she's a ruby yet?
because she doesn't, like, get up and move herself in the chair.
She might not be it.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
might be real close,
I'd say she's in the middle.
Hmm?
In the middle.
yeah.
Teetering on that ruby
Yeah.
pearl. So, to just go over real quickly then again, so our sapphires are our true blues, that's us, right? That's your everyday, that's your employee, that's who we should always be. We can be diamonds though, because diamonds are rigid, they are sharp, they cut you. New things are not possible for them to remember, we're losing our nouns, but we're still gonna function pretty well. Our emeralds, those are our people who really need help, really don't think they need help, right? So they're still thinking everything's just fine with them. Our ambers are caught in that moment of sensation. What I want, when I want, how I want it. Nothing around them exists because everything's theirs, right? Your ruby is more of your, it's right because of your fine motor steps. We're losing all that fine motor, we're just mimicking large movements. Music, rhythm, prayer, huge in this stage because you can, you know, use humming, you can use singing, you can use that kind of stuff to give you the rhythm of walking. And then your pearls are your precious, you know, kind of curled